Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm PAULA.
And I'm LARA YAMADA. Well, President Obama announced his jobs package today, but while he's trying to create jobs, the U.S. Postal Service is looking for ways to save jobs while cutting costs. 4 Hawaii locations are on the chopping block: HONOLULU on Kauai, Kalaupapa on Molokai, 1 in Kapolei, and on NUUANU Avenue. Today, a Postal Service team visited those locations to hear what people had to say and explain what's happening and why.
This is busy. I think this is busy.
The post office on NUUANU Avenue might be small, but its customers are vocal and very worried.
They really are used to a lot of Asian people.
4th Street Malls right down the street here, and the banks, all of that. So I think it would affect all of it.
We know there are a lot of elderly in this area. That's why it's a study. It's a feasibility study.
Acting Postmaster Keith Santos says they've gotten hundreds of signatures and more than 100 written letters just for this location during the Postal Service's community input period.
All this is going to be sent up with the package to headquarters.
And sometime later this year, that will help determine what will be cut.
Somebody's not going to be happy.
Now, today is not just about giving info and getting feedback. It's also about trying to find some help. In the next week, businesses around the 4 locations that may potentially close will be getting one of these, talking about whether or not they might consider being a contract postal unit, or what's called a CPU.
They come here, I mail the packages for them, and then they can go and buy their lunch, or there's a produce store.
Sanford Chu runs a CPU in 99 Ranch Market in MAPUNAPUNA, one of about 20 CPUs in the state run by private business owners. The Postal Service is actively pursuing more CPUs to help it spread out and cut costs. Right now, the U.S. Postal Service is billions of dollars in the hole. That's why they're also pleading to Congress for help to keep from shutting down entirely.
When you're about to default on payments and things like that, you do radical things.
Were you surprised when you heard this one might close?
Yes, I was, and I'm praying it's not going to close. We need it bad.
Acting Postmaster Keith Santos says the 4 Hawaii locations in question are not necessarily at risk because they make less money or have less foot traffic, but because there are other post office locations they consider relatively close by.